Hey, sixth graders. We are going to continue our scientific method unit this week with forces and energy. So we need some vocab words before we let you go experiment. So force is a push or a pull. It's what gets an object into motion. For example, with this sled, one is pushing, one is pulling, it's in motion. That's a force. There's tons of different ways that the world pushes and pulls on objects. This is not one of them. Sorry, Star Wars fans. But there's tons of others in the world. We're not going to focus on all of them. We are going to focus on gravity. So with gravity, we get two different types of energy, potential energy and kinetic energy. Potential energy is the energy that an object has because of its position. It's something it could potentially do. Like a middle schooler might potentially do their homework. It depends on where they're at. Same thing here. With our weight on the pulley, it has the potential to do something. The scissors makes it really likely that something is going to happen. Kinetic energy then is once it's in motion. So kinetic energy just means moving. And we can measure how much it has based on a whole bunch of things, but pretty much the more energy, the faster it goes. And you'll be testing how do we get more kinetic energy and therefore more potential energy. So that's what our experiment is this week. You are going to be using ramps in order to do this experiment. So here's your schedule. You're doing the mini lesson. You've got a second video to watch. And then you're going to make your ramp. Notice that we're not looking for anything fancy here. Cardboard, a book, a board, anything will work. You're going to make a hypothesis about if the ramp gets taller, what will happen to the object? Will it roll farther or not as far as the height gets bigger? So fill that in. The same then, fill it in on if you roll down a heavier object versus a lighter object. And then do the experiment. So you're going to do the experiment 4 times. So roll the ball down to the cart down 4 different times. For trial 1, which is the short version. The second one is the taller, and finally the third is the tallest. So that's a total of 12 rolls. You can mark how far it goes with chalk, with a piece of tape. You could measure it, anything to help you remember, does the short, medium, or tall ramp cause objects to go farther? And you can record those notes here. Then you'll do really similar with mass. Put the ramp down to probably the medium height, and find 3 objects that are similar but not exact. You need them to be different weights. So these 3 balls would work perfect, or different weights of carts, or if you had a little cart that you could put stuff into, that would work perfect, and you could make it heavier. You're going to leave the ramp at one specific height, and you're going to, again, roll the cart or ball down 4 times. 4 times for the light one, 4 times for the medium, 4 times for the heavy. And keep track of which one goes farthest. And again, you can put those notes here. After you've seen what happens, we've given you, we're going to, a video to watch and another mini lesson so you can see if your results made sense. And finally, then you'll answer the conclusion questions. So in sum, you are looking at the potential and kinetic energy that happens on a ramp. Potential is based on position. So at the top of the ramp, it's got some potential energy. It could go someplace. And kinetic is once that ball or car starts moving down the ramp. We're comparing what changes those two energies with mass and height. Let us know if you have any questions. Happy experimenting.